Today, we're diving into a topic that every aspiring game developer should tune into. 10 tips for developing an RPG from scratch. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. I'm Lujo from Forge Games. Whether you're just starting or you're deep into development, these tips will help you stay on track and avoid common pitfalls. So, let's get into it. Tip 1. Start small and scale up. It's tempting to build a massive open-world RPG right away. Actually, we're working on something like that since October 2023. Resist the urge. Start small. Focus on a core mechanic or feature. Build your foundation before adding too much complexity. Building a strong foundation makes it easier to add more features and content later. Tip 2. Create a rich story world. The story is crucial in RPGs. It's not just about the main questline, but the world your players will inhabit. Before you dive into quest design, take the time to craft your lore. Think about the history of your world. What wars have shaped it? What political factions are vying for control? And what ancient conflicts or alliances still influence the present? Develop cultures, religions, and myths. A rich and detailed background adds layers of depth and immersion that players can discover piece by piece. Instead of dumping all the story at the beginning, weave it naturally into the gameplay. Use NPC dialogues, quests, exploration to reveal the lore bit by bit, allowing players to uncover it gradually. This makes the storytelling more engaging, as players feel like they're actively discovering the world, rather than sitting through a lengthy intro or prologue. Don't rush this step. It can be the difference between an RPG that feels shallow and one that truly captivates. Tip 3. Define the combat early. Combat is often the heart of an RPG, and it shapes how players interact with your world. Before diving too deep into other mechanics, decide what kind of combat system will fit your game. It can be turn-based, action-oriented, or a hybrid of both. Each choice creates a different experience for the player, so ensure it aligns with your overall vision. Once you've chosen the combat style, start prototyping it as soon as possible. Combat isn't just about hitting enemies. It needs to feel engaging, rewarding, and responsive. Whether it's turn-based combat or real-time action, every encounter should offer something exciting for the player. Experiment with mechanics like abilities, cooldowns, combos, or magic systems to make it unique. Don't forget to test it extensively. Playtest with different enemy types, player abilities, and difficulty levels. The key is to make combat satisfying without being frustrating or repetitive. Players should feel challenged but empowered. A well-defined and polished combat system can keep players hooked for hours, so don't overlook this early step. Tip 4. Iteration is your best friend. In game development, it's essential to understand that perfection is rarely achieved on the first try. Embrace the iterative process as a fundamental aspect of your development cycle. Start with a rough draft of your systems, whether it's gameplay mechanics, story elements, or character designs. Remember, these initial versions are just that, initial. They're meant to be refined and improved upon. Prototyping is a crucial step in this process. Create quick and dirty versions of your ideas to see how they function in practice. Don't get caught up in making everything perfect right away. Instead, focus on testing these prototypes to gather feedback. This feedback will provide invaluable insights into what works and what doesn't, guiding your next steps. After testing, take the time to tweak and adjust your systems based on the feedback you receive. This could involve balancing game mechanics, refining controls, or even rethinking narrative elements. The goal is to create a cycle of continuous improvement. Prototype test, refine, and repeat. Each iteration should bring you closer to a polished product. Remember, the best games are often built through this process of constant refining. It's normal to make mistakes along the way. The key is to learn from them. Stay open to changes and be willing to pivot your ideas when necessary. The iterative approach allows you to innovate and evolve your game, leading to a final product that feels well-crafted and engaging for players. Tip 5. Balance progression and challenge. Progression systems, such as leveling up and skill trees, are essential in RPGs. These systems provide a sense of achievement, allowing players to witness the characters evolve and grow over time. However, balancing progression with challenge is crucial for maintaining an engaging gameplay experience. Define the mechanics of your progression system early. Players should gain experience points through various activities like defeating enemies, completing quests, or discovering new areas. It's important to establish a rate at which players level up and how these advancements affect their abilities. While players enjoy seeing their characters improve, becoming overpowered too quickly can lead to a lack of challenge, making the game feel less engaging. Striking the right balance is key. Players should feel rewarded for their efforts, but each level up should not diminish the game's overall challenge. Ensure that as players progress, they still face obstacles that require skill and strategy. Introduce tougher enemies, more complex puzzles, and demanding quests that push players to adapt and develop their tactics. Incorporating soft caps can enhance this balance. This approach allows players to continue leveling up, but the benefits of each level increase should gradually diminish. This method keeps players engaged without making them excessively powerful too soon. Challenge keeps the gameplay fresh and interesting. Varied encounters should test different skills, encouraging players to experiment with strategies and playstyles. This balance of challenge and reward fosters immersion and investment in the game's world. Ultimately, a well-balanced progression system motivates players to explore and engage with the game. The challenges they face continuously push them to refine their skills. This helps players develop better strategies. Tip 6. Don't overload on features. In RPG, it's tempting to include a wide variety of features and systems. However, incorporating too many mechanics can overwhelm both you and the player. Prioritizing quality over quantity is essential in game design. Begin by identifying the core mechanics that define your game. Focusing on a few key features allows for deeper exploration and refinement. Whether it's a unique combat system, intricate crafting, or immersive character development, selecting a limited set of mechanics ensures they are polished and enjoyable. Overloading a game with features can dilute the player experience. Players may feel confused or lost with too many systems. This can lead to frustration. Streamlining the design helps enhance overall gameplay. Integrating complementary features makes the game easier to understand. This approach allows players to focus on mastering the mechanics that truly matter. Simplicity can be powerful. A game with fewer features can still be rich and immersive if those features are well executed. Limiting the number of mechanics creates space for deeper interactions. Players will appreciate a focused experience. This encourages exploration and experimentation. Iterating on features through playtesting is vital for understanding what resonates with players. Gathering feedback helps identify systems that may feel unnecessary or cumbersome. Ultimately, embracing a minimalist approach in your RPG can lead to a more cohesive and enjoyable experience. Refining a few standout features creates a game that captivates players without overwhelming them. Tip 7. Create memorable characters. In RPG, players seek a deeper connection with characters. To achieve this, focus on strong character development from the beginning. Each character should have a distinct personality that sets them apart. Think about how their traits influence their behavior and interactions within the game. This uniqueness helps players remember and relate to them, making the experience more engaging. Beyond personalities, give your characters clear goals and meaningful conflicts. Goals drive their actions and decisions, while conflicts create tension and drama. Whether it is a personal struggle or a broader conflict within the game world, these elements enrich the narrative. Players become invested in a character's journey when they understand what is at stake. Knowing what the character hopes to achieve adds depth to their experience. Consider incorporating character backstories that provide depth and context. A well-crafted backstory can explain a character's motivations and fears, making them feel more real. This history can be revealed gradually through gameplay. This can include dialogue or quests. It allows players to uncover layers of the character as they progress. This approach enhances immersion and keeps players eager to learn more. Ultimately, memorable characters are essential for keeping players invested in your story. When players care about the characters, they become more engaged with the plot and the world you've created. Characters should evolve over time. They should respond to the player's actions and choices. This makes the experience feel dynamic and personal. Tip number 8. Optimize for performance early. Performance optimization isn't just a late-stage task. Pay attention to performance from the start. This proactive approach can save you a lot of headaches later on. I recommend conducting comprehensive tests at regular intervals. For example, we perform these tests every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the progress of the project during that period. If you are using Unity, use the profiler to measure CPU usage and monitor memory garbage generation. This tool helps you understand how your game is performing and where it might be lagging. By identifying issues early, you can make necessary adjustments before they become bigger problems. Remember, a well-optimized game enhances player experience and keeps your vision intact during development. Tip 9. Test with real players. Make sure to let players try your game early on. This step is crucial for gathering valuable feedback. Real players can highlight what works well and what needs improvement. They often notice things that you as the developer might miss. Don't skip playtesting. Regularly testing your game helps you identify issues and refine gameplay. This can be done through organized playtesting sessions or even informal feedback from friends. The goal is to understand how players interact with your game and ensure it meets their expectations. Final tip. Tip 10. Stay motivated. Game development is a marathon, not a sprint. Expect setbacks and tough days along the way. It is important to remember why you started this journey. Stay motivated by keeping your goals in sight and reminding yourself of your passion for game development. Take breaks when needed to recharge your creativity. Celebrate small wins as they help maintain momentum and boost your morale. Progress may feel slow at times, but every step forward counts. It is a long road, but the rewards are totally worth it in the end. Here's a practical tip that works for all my long-term projects. Save each build of your game at a date. Aim to create at least 1 or 2 builds per month. Then, periodically play the current version and an earlier one at random. You'll often notice that you've made more progress than you thought. There you have it. 10 solid tips to guide your RPG development journey. Whether you're just getting started or refining your game, I hope these pointers help you along the way. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future episodes. And remember, it's all about persistence and passion in this industry. Keep creating and stay awesome.